Hello viewers, Super GT here. I'm back in the Endurance Hopper, so the modern GT Endurance. We're going to be driving this, the Dodge Viper, an absolute classic from the GT class, and obviously that is not a good start to a race at all. Kind of just developed in front of me. One guy just didn't start, and all of that happened. Obviously people not prepared for that eventuality, which they should be. Going past a bunch of people who were all victims there at turn 1 on the grass. Just briefly making contact with the Audi. He doesn't falter too much though. Audi coming back on. It's getting very crowded here at VIR. Look up the outside of the Audi, and then this kind of happens here. That I was going to go and turn in, and then it's a new safety device where the person you're about to crash into just simply vanishes instead of crashing. So quite good there. And then just various other idiots crashing, going wide, sliding out. So yeah, another easy set of positions there. Now it's always good to drive this hopper because it gives you time just to settle down, get into a rhythm, set some laps. I mean, when you're doing the normal hoppers, like S-Class or whatever, the races are a couple of minutes long, like 3, 4, 5 minutes long. It's over before it started, and it's always a mess, and it never settles down, and it's an absolute atrocity 99% of the times. This is just an atrocity 98% of the time, so it's a bit better. As we come around the final turn, I kind of fought that around the outside. To be fair to him, it wasn't really, I mean, I shouldn't have really gone around the outside there. That wasn't the place to fight. It was always going to end badly for me doing that, but I tried to catch up quite quickly. The Nismo up the inside the Lamborghini, just an awful move, but I mean, it helps me. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Up into 5th place. And we're going to try to reel in the full GT once again. There's going to be plenty of deja vu in this video because there were so many setbacks, just setback after setback. But as I was saying earlier, I mean, at least there's time to kind of do something about it. You can just get your rhythm down. Yeah, there was a setback, but at least there's time. You can actually catch up once again and do something about wiping out the person who wiped you out. You know what I mean? Cheating scum part 2 perhaps. Maybe one day I'll make that video, but you know, the right situation has to come up. 5th place then, end of lap number 2 of 15. VIR coming up quite a lot, looking for that move on the exit there, not going to quite happen. So still stuck up behind this full GT. So the Dodge Viper here, I think it's the number 93. F4H ForceOne, using it quite a lot recently, and I thought, you know, I'll go for it as well, as we go for a massive lunge up the inside. Bit late, but just about kept it on. So he kind of suggested it to me, or all of us in the F4H team, and you know what, I've been enjoying it too. Really good car, really good solid all-rounder, easy to control. Looking up the inside of the Audi, yes, it's there. He kind of turned in, but I was there, so up into 3rd place. And the paint job's by him, so F4H ForceOne, if you want to download it. My tune is uploaded, so what I did, I kind of tweaked the settings because, well, obviously that's what upgrading is, but there's a possibility on this car to improve the brakes by making the front tyre width a little bit smaller, so you're going to compensate a little bit for that, but you'll get better brakes. So I made that compromise, and I think it works out quite well because I was just getting beasted by Astons on the brakes. Now through here, yet another setback because I was just trying to get on the throttle and it just wasn't getting on early enough, and I get spun out by the Chevrolet. Only losing a few seconds, obviously still a few seconds too many, but I'm going to try and catch back up once again. So the next of the turn, I was going to try and come back for that cheating scum part 2 moment, but then he just dived into the pits. Obviously he knew it was coming, so he made the sensible decision. Now coming back up, I mean, deja vu once again. I'm overtaking these people for about the 5th time in 4 laps. So go past the Audi quite easily, make light work of him, onto the back of the Ford GT, on the main straight. He covers to the right hand side, so I go left, and you can see the superior speed in a straight line of the Viper. So a very good tune. Well, if I say so myself, you know, thank you F4H Super GT. It's kind of, well, F4H again, F4H ForceOne again kind of helped me a lot. I kind of tweak, well, I mean, he really helped with the gearing actually, because that's the one thing I don't seem to know at all. The gears is the one thing they really sorted out on this car. So, putting away from the line, first place on the grid. It's always a lot easier from pole position. I mean, you can control the race from here. And I'm going to go into the first corner, not going to be opposed, so I can take the normal racing line. And again, just having a look behind, is he going to attack me? Not quite, I think he's too far back. So I'm going to take the normal racing line and just really try to stretch the race as much as possible. There's no point in defending if the guy behind is too far behind, unless he's going to go for a Datsun dive bomb of the century from 2,000 feet behind, which is possible. You know, it can happen, but you're going to lose time if you keep defending against thin air. So, already stretching that race, trying to pull that Aston with me. Well, I don't want the Aston to come with me, ideally, but it's better for us to pull away and just make it a two-way battle rather than a 17-way battle, because you know that's how that's going to end. So, Suzuka here, this is just the shorter version. I think it's the West version. I may be wrong on that. But coming through towards Spoon Corner, quite tricky to get right this one. In fact, it's one of the hardest corners in the game for me. But in this car, it kind of makes light work of it. To the outside, just missing the apex a little bit on the second apex, but just coming back to the outside, kind of just making light work of that corner, really. We're going to go for lap number 2. Let's see how it goes. Crossing the line then. It's just a 1 minute 22, so of course the next lap, or this lap, is going to be faster unless I smash myself off with the benefit of the flying start. Now look for the entry to that pit. I don't even know where that... There's a little road on the right hand side, kind of just braking just before that. Nice apex for the second curve, or the third corner on this track actually. 130R being the first. So going through the Degners, brilliant corners these, flat out, nearly flat out for the first one. And then really trying to extend on the exit as much as possible, just getting back on before it goes dirty, I think, although the lap was already dirty, doesn't matter. And then into the hairpin, late apex. Beautifully done. The car just so planted. You do have to be very careful on the throttle. Maybe to the point that traction control perhaps could be better in this car, but it is very manageable without it, and I'm using no traction control here, so what you're seeing is no assist. Manual gears. You want manual gears in these cars. The Mod GT cars, you definitely just want manual gears. You don't want manual clutch. It doesn't really make any, doesn't really give you any benefit at all. So it's just easy to have manual. So you see there, looking behind, end of lap 2, the gap was opening up, but don't get too complacent because this can happen. Just miss one braking point, and then that gap comes right back down. There he is, straight back on me from one error, one very small error, braking maybe 10 metres too late, 10-20 metres too late. But then in the end, it was quite an easy and comprehensive victory. And there we have a victory dance, very nice. We're going to move to Sebring. So it's going to be the short version, so not the full hog of Sebring. Again, moving to the outside, trying to take the racing line. I didn't think I'd be opposed. Obviously, again, he could have gone for a lunge into that first corner, but I just took the racing line. And you see there, looking behind, because I took the racing line, the gap just opened up so big. Just because of that one decision to take that, because if I went defensive in there, I would have been on the defensive pretty much for this whole lap. So that was a good decision there. Now he's kind of off me already. I've already got a 200 feet gap from just taking the racing line through turn 1. Obviously it's not always easy to do, but from pole position, that is the benefit you have. You have the clear track. It's up to you to make the decision, and then it's actually a lot easier to try and pull away if you're in first, because if you're in second, you've got, you know, people right behind you. You've got more people right behind you, and it's hard kind of to balance attacking first place and defending from third and fourth and fifth without the clear track. Anyway, through the final corner here at Sebring, we're going to dive into the pits. Let's make this a little bit more interesting, because that could have been a very boring race. At the exit of the pits then, 21st of 22. Let's see how many people we can go through. So obviously some of these people might dive into the pits before I get to them. It's an 18 lap race, so it's a very long one, or quite a lot of laps. So let's see how many positions I can gain, like on a genuine basis. Up behind a Jaguar, a Lamborghini, and I think it's another Viper actually, just ahead. So coming round towards this little complex at the end of the circuit, just grazing the curb. You've got to be careful on the curb when you're accelerating. Now this Lamborghini is just going to, well, just do that basically. I mean, how would you describe that? Just total lapse of concentration, or is that kind of being too nice to him? doesn't know what the hell he's doing, basically. I don't know. So, on the back straight, coming towards the final corner. Obviously a notoriously difficult corner to get right. Looking up the inside, a very late lunge. But the car kind of sticks around very nicely. Once you get that power down on the exit, that huge rear wing really does help you. So, looking up the inside of the Audi, it wasn't quite on, but then he basically just braked too late. I think I possibly forced him into it, I don't know, maybe not. On the exit, just getting away nicely. Onto the penultimate corner. The next victim is going to be this Flying Lizard Porsche. Almost go into him actually, as I almost lost control on the exit of that corner. Going past quite easily. The Porsche clearly not having the best straight line speed. But then this car neither having the best straight line speed. You'll see that later in this video. So into the final corner. Hooked up nicely there. Really, really good levels of grip on this car. One Audi dives into the pit lane just ahead of us. And then this is the situation on lap number 5, at the end of lap 5. Up into 11th place. So we've got through about half the pack already. So nice tidy group of 4 here. 3 Audis and a Chevrolet. So the last of the Audis here is going to peel off to the right hand side and go into the pits. So that's one move dealt with. So we don't have to worry about him anymore. We've got pretty much a whole pit stop in hand over him. Moving to the right hand side. Got to try and get your wheels towards that line basically to maximise your line through here. One of the Audi goes very wide. Just going to give him a little bit of space to rejoin. And then up into 7th. Looking up the inside, wasn't quite on. It would have been a very strong move had I gone for that one. So we're going to hold station for now. Try to work our way past. I mean, it's not, this section here is not really the best place to overtake. It just doesn't really work through here. I mean, you've got 2 very long straights, which are both providing very good overtaking opportunities into the last corner and the first corner. So around this section is actually quite hard to overtake unless someone makes a big error. And he's made a small error there, which has given me the run on the back straight. So the Viper here, having just a slightly better top end speed compared to the Chevrolet. The Audi though up ahead, a little bit better than me even, so he's going to pull away a little bit. Up into 6th place. Chevrolet going to reappear on the right hand side, go for that cutback move. So I went a little bit too deep into that corner, but we saw on the last straight I have the better straight line speed, so I'm going to pull away now and then consolidate 6th place. Move over to the right hand side. I don't think he'll go for a move from that far back. And you just see the levels of grip here, so close to the wall, so early on the throttle. It's just perfect. It just grips so well. And then braking into turn number 2. Taking a very wide line in to maximise our speed through that corner. Dipping 2 wheels over the grass. You really do want to do that. You pretty much have to if you want to maximise your lap. Just dip 2 wheels over the curb, or sorry, over the grass, and just cut us slightly. But obviously you've still got 2 wheels on the track, so you're not really doing anything illegal. So second to last corner, the Audi just doesn't really get on the throttle early enough. But we're going to see here a drag race between the American car and the German car, and eventually the Flying Lizard car here is just about going to get the run. So you see they're just getting away, but then into the final corner, going late on the brakes, and you just see here the levels of grip. Look at that, just around the outside of the Audi at the final corner at Sebring. That you don't see that very often. And across the line in 5th place. It's going well so far, very well indeed. Let's go into the first corner. On the brakes, hooking up with the wall, not quite as close as we were on the previous lap, but you can see they're out to the outside. Beautiful job. This is lap number 9 now, and the Mercedes is in 4th place. We caught up with him, so we're pretty much halfway into the race. The Mercedes again just driving very wide and not quite taking that as well as he would have liked. So up into 4th, and then through the final corner, this guy, I don't know, there wasn't anyone else with him. He kind of just was facing the wrong way. So I think he just turned way too tight and went into the wall. Lap 15, the leader into the pit lane just ahead of us. So I didn't have a direct battle, but then so into the lead once again, and I had pretty much an entire pit stop in hand. So at the end of the race, just going to slow down. I had such a big lead that it's always a good idea to slow down just to make sure that that end race timer doesn't start too early, because if people don't finish, you know, they don't get all the credits and stuff. So just going to slow down there, let a few more people finish. But that's it, guys. The Dodge Viper, the number 93 Viper. What a car. Brilliant. So, tuned by F4H Super GT, livery by F4H ForceOne. And yeah, definitely give it a try because it's one definitely worth giving a go. Good all-rounder. Just got to be a little bit careful on the throttle. But that brings a close to this one. Obviously, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you, of course, to all the viewers and subscribers. It's been really good this month. Couldn't be happier with it. Could not be happier. That's it. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. See you next time. Goodbye.